Alright, so let's finish the video that I began yesterday, the philosophical video, to discuss all the ideas that I got from Song of the Wanderer, which are ideas that I got from the book, but they are not necessarily about the book. They can be about something else, but it will be something that I feel that is worth discussing, that can teach anyone something, that taught me something, or that made me remember something important. So, anything that I basically perceive or see as something thought-provoking, worth discussing, something that will make you think, which is what I call it philosophical discussion, because even if all the ideas that I go over are pretty real ideas, they are things that can happen to us, they are things that are useful for us to know and to be aware of. The way I discuss it, and these kind of discussions in general, are more than likely seen in the philosophical debate, but I make it much more clear, so I don't complicate things, and the ideas that I have are not something that is, for a philosopher's table or something like that. Not really. Anyone can understand this. So I want to finish what I started the other day, which I didn't finish. I'm using the same clothes, so we're not the same day. This is one day later, but today I'm gonna finish this. So the other day I went up to number 15 of all the ideas that I got when I read the book. I think I almost finished talking about number 15. I don't know if I did finish it, but yeah, I will consider that one done. So let's go to number 16. 16 on page 250. Okay, so anticipation is half the fun in a surprise. This is Thomas the Thinker talking in the story. So let's see what I wrote about that here. Anticipation is a powerful force. Anticipation makes us care more about it. Whatever it is doesn't matter, but it makes us care much more about it. And it makes us think that it is even better than what it really is, or than what it necessarily is. And that's very true. The first example of anticipation that came to my mind, and of how anticipation can, like in a psychological way, can play with our mind almost in the same way as nostalgia. When you have nostalgia, you think that thing that you're remembering is better. Most likely you think that it's better than what it was. So you're influenced by nostalgia. But anticipation is something that is much more likely to happen to us than nostalgia. We can feel anticipation much more often, that's for sure. And it does something similar. It makes you feel like this prize, I was gonna say achievement, but it doesn't have to be an achievement. It can be, something that you're gonna get, or anything, something that you bought. Like I'm thinking like Amazon, that you buy things and you know that you're gonna get them in, between 1 week and 2 weeks. If you pay the fast service, you get it like in 2 or 3 days. But you still feel anticipation for what you're gonna get, and sometimes it makes you feel like what you're gonna get is even better than what it is, because of this feeling of anticipation. And this feeling of anticipation can be a very different scales. it can be like a low scale, like if you know that you have something that you're gonna do tomorrow and you want to do it, you want to go someplace, so you begin anticipating what it's gonna be like. You don't know what it's gonna be like until you go there tomorrow and you experience it, and then you really know if it is great or not great, or a really crappy experience. You won't know until tomorrow. But that's like short-term anticipation. There's also anticipation for other kind of things in life that take way longer. Like I'm pretty sure that most people anticipate big events, like graduating from college, or any graduation, even the high school graduation. I remember that I used to anticipate that, and I'm pretty sure that everybody does. But there are other events, maybe a change of jobs, maybe reaching something that you wanted, finishing a big project. I bet that for many people, getting married, that kind of thing, that kind of event, they anticipate it, and it is, the thing about anticipation is that sometimes you anticipate it with a clear mindset and you are aware of what you're getting into and what you're getting. So you're not blinded by this anticipation. But there are many other people that see this as kind of like a dream-like stuff that they anticipate, and then when they get there and they see that it really wasn't so great, it may be good, but it wasn't such a great dream-like scenario that they imagine, they may be disappointed. So it's important to be aware that you should have a clear mind about whatever you're anticipating and see it for what it really is. Hopefully you understand what it really is. If you don't understand it yet, it's gonna be really hard to see it like that, and you won't be able to see it like that until you get there and you experience it. It's just the way it is. And I say these things not to sound smart or anything like that. I say these things because I have already had experiences like that, both at the low scale level with something that I bought and that I was expecting for next day, and at the higher scale level. I'm not gonna go into detail about that, but I already experienced it in both scales. Okay, so I think that's more than enough for 16. So let's see, 17, page 256. 256. Okay, so I marked a lot there, so let's see what I wrote here. Okay. Let me see. Because she had not laughed since that heartbreaking meeting with her father in Firetroll's cave, she felt a little guilty about the laugh. So Kara, the protagonist, she finally laughed after not laughing for a long time because she had, difficulties as she went through. You will know if you read the first book, and if you read this second book, Some of the Wonder, up to maybe the first few chapters, and then you get here to this point. And I don't remember what it was, that's a very little detail, so I don't remember, but she laughs at something. And it had been a long time for her without laughing, because she had many things to worry about. Because, she was, I'm not gonna say stressed, but she had a journey that had a lot of danger and all that. However, here's this thing, laughter. Especially laughter that is due to happiness, that is due to feeling good. It's something that we can even call psychological, and the mind tends to shut off laughter if you're not happy or if you're going through some danger. If it is not a moment to laugh, the mind is not ready for laughter, which is an irony, because if it is a good thing that makes you feel good, and if you're not going through a good moment, it would be a good idea to have a good laugh. But the mind doesn't work like that. So if it is not the right time for the good laugh, if it is not a time when you're already feeling good to have that good laugh, it's very likely that you're not going to have it. So let me read to you what I wrote here. So when the brain is not doing well, it tends to shut off laughter, because laughter is linked to doing well or to feeling well about yourself, to having a good time. It's even linked to happiness itself. So if there's a person, I'm supposing that this person is not a clown or an idiot that laughs at anything you give him or her, and they're just laughing at anything. And there are people who are like that, by the way. They, I'm not gonna talk too much about that, but they laugh about anything. But usually that's a minority. Most people, like me for example, don't laugh unless there's a really, really good joke, or unless there's something that is making them feel good, and this feeling of laughter just comes naturally. So let's see what I wrote here. This sounds like something for a neurology class, and I don't know anything about neurology, but this is what came to my mind. So if the mind is on automatic mode and you're not doing so well, it won't trigger the emotions or the thoughts that are for your best interest. It's a big irony, because it should be doing that to make you feel better. So you are the one that has to trigger them with your actions and your choices, which should be positive for you. So here's something interesting. It's something pretty paradoxical if you think about it. This is something that definitely falls in the realm of not psychology. This is going beyond psychology. This is philosophical. Yeah, it's philosophical. Because we might not have the answer for that yet. It's not that there's not a science that can answer this. There most likely is, but we in our sciences maybe haven't arrived at the answer. So then when you have something of that caliber, of that kind of thing, you have to look at it in the philosophical realm to see if you can figure something out. And obviously it is not tested. It's just an assumption. It is just a clever guess. Nothing more than that, but it may still be something worth discussing, some good idea. So, let's see. So yeah, you see, the idea is that if you're going by what your brain chooses for you, and you're not going through a good time, you're not gonna laugh. There's nothing to laugh about. And it's very likely that you're not gonna make the choices that are gonna make you feel happy right away, because you're not at that point at that moment. But if you realize that, because you're emotionally aware, you may choose consciously to do something, even something that is not natural at that point for you because you're not feeling good or whatever. And you may consciously choose to do something that's gonna make you feel good, even if it is not the right time for it. Okay, I have many examples, but I don't really want to share right now anything from my personal life. But there's one example that I will give you. Like for me, I have several hobbies. I wouldn't call myself a master at any of them yet. I feel pretty good about discussing things. I'm the kind of person that you can put it in a TV show and give me like impromptu questions, and I will come up with good ideas to answer right there on the spot. But even for that, I don't have enough training yet. So even if I haven't mastered any of these characteristics or skills that I have, these hobbies, I do enjoy them. And if I'm not feeling great and I do one of them, I do feel better afterwards. So they include the obvious, which is writing and reading and planning really amazing stuff, which could be a new book, It could be a new adventure, it could be a new series, it could be a new story, or one that already exists, one that I already know but that I haven't finished or done yet. It could also be some sport that I like. Lately I've been practicing tennis more than anything else. Before that I was practicing racquetball. Before that I was into volleyball. I think I may go into volleyball again. So many times I found that if things were not going wonderful for me, and I went back to practicing things that I care about, like running, like practicing tennis or racquetball or volleyball or anything else that I really wanted to practice, even if it wasn't the perfect time, because I wasn't feeling great, I still went there and did it anyways, and that automatically made me leave that place feeling better, and it was something that obviously changed that whole day for me, and it makes a difference. So sometimes even if you are in a bad spot, in a bad place, and your mind is in like a not so great mode, there are things that you can choose to do that will change that. Even if your mind is not helping you to change it, you can still do swings that will help you. So I've been able to see that in my experience.